Happy Easter, everyone, and I hope you are having a great day with your family or friends. I thought I would switch up today's video and talk about the story of Easter in my own twist of a version. I'm not a religious man by any means, but I do believe there is a God, the universe, and karma. So I hope you like today's message and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So guys, let's get into today's message. There are moments in time when all of a sudden something happens and everything changes. There are so many examples of this throughout history that it's hard to pick just one. But when I was thinking about the Easter message for today, I was thinking about the movie The Lord of the Rings. Kind of obsessed with the movie, not gonna lie, but it's a great one for this video. The second movie, The Two Towers, they are hauled up in Helm's Deep, which is a protective cave. They're in there and they're just trying to hold off the evil enemies that are trying to come in. Sure enough, it's going bad, like very bad. And all hope seems to be lost on finding a victory in this battle. But there's this one scene that all the warriors gather together and they're going to fight for one last stand. They go on their horses and they go down this path and they're swinging with everything they have to defend the city. All hope seems to be gone at this point. And you're just thinking to yourself while you're watching the scene, like, there's no hope. There's literally millions of these orcs out there in a small little army of men swinging with all they can to make it happen. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a scene where Gandalf the White shows up on that mountaintop way up there, and the sun's coming down, and it beats on the enemies. And he has all the horsemen lined up on that mountaintop with him. They go riding down that mountaintop. Right when Gandalf the White and the horsemen meet the orcs, the sun hits the faces of the orcs to blind them, and they blast through the battle line and defeat the orcs. So all of a sudden, that moment changed everything in that movie, a very powerful reality. Now I'm here to tell you about the empty tomb of Jesus that changes everything. The fact that the tomb is empty changes everything, not only for us as individuals, but for who we are and why we live the way we live. Guys, God's work can't be stopped. Jesus, the Pharisees, and the chief priests had issues. They're like the Democrats and Republicans of today. They just don't get along. Jesus was offensive to the chief priests and Pharisees because he undermined their authority. He was disruptive to their power, and to use a modern phrase, they thought Jesus was a royal pain in the ass. Everything about his ministry bothered them. The fact that he disliked tax collectors, moral hustlers, and the uneducated common people that all flocked to Jesus. Jesus really bothered the religious people. They were blemishes to them. So they were tired of Jesus. They wanted this whole Jesus thing to be over with. They remember when he was still alive, he said he was going to be resurrected from the grave. So they go to Pilate. Now this part is interesting because the Jewish people at that time were not allowed to use their own military. They have been under Roman rule for a number of decades at this point. So they had to go ask for permission. They go to Pilate and they say, listen, can you secure the tomb? We don't want his disciples to come and steal him or any disruptions once we put him in there. What this is teaching us is you can't stop the work of God. The chief priest and the Pharisees, they wanted to stop Jesus from being resurrected from the grave. I think it's important that we remember that we can't stop the work of God, because I think if we were all honest, we all try in some ways, don't we? There are going to be things, circumstances, or situations in our lives that God wants to show us the way and bear fruit for us on learning through these lessons. That's why one of the most common ideas in the Bible is the idea of surrender or trust. Many of us know what it's like to resist what God is doing. Just like the Pharisees and the chief priests say, God, this is unacceptable in my plans. For the Pharisees and the chief priests, Jesus was unacceptable to their plans. So they were trying every which way to stop the work of God. I don't think it's by chance that this precursor is what happens next here with them making the tomb and then what happens. The first thing, there was a stone rolled in front of the door. Now, unlike today where we bury people in the ground at the graveyard or some are cremated, now this was a cave that had a huge rock in front of the door. So there's a physical barrier in front of it, a physical obstacle, a huge fucking rock. to stop his disciples, Jesus, or anyone from getting in or out. The second thing is they sealed the door. The idea of sealing showed the political authority of Pilate, saying, "This is all right that we sealed the tomb." So the politics of the day said Jesus ain't coming out of that tomb. The third thing is there's the guard set. Not only is there a physical obstacle and a political obstacle, but now there is a good old-fashioned person obstacle in the doorway. This is set up at the Resurrection Sunday now. They're trying to stop what God is doing, even with all the obstacles in the way. You can probably guess what happens next. Yep, he is risen. Just like how we talked about the Lord of the Rings, for the moment when all was lost, he came over that mountaintop with an army to save everyone. Well, that was this moment back then. The oh shit moment. That things are about to get real when Jesus was resurrected. There's so many ways you can end this story for Easter, for Christians, or anything out there really. But I want to leave you with this today. Wherever you stand in life with your spirituality is fine. No one should judge you or belittle you on what you believe or think. I believe it doesn't matter anyways because it all ties into one another. We are all seeking, worshiping, or asking help from a higher power out there. What does matter is how we feel about ourselves and how we treat others. Bring joy, love, and laughter into one another's lives and try to find your full potential in this life as well. Guys, I hope you have a blessed Easter with your loved ones, and thank you for tuning into another daily vid here. I know I was probably not the most expertise person to probably give this video, but I thought I would share what I felt in it. Guys, if you do like this video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well because we post every single day here for motivational videos. Happy Easter and thanks again, guys.